も団体さんがいくつかあって人手が足りないそうなんだ。
って働くのかよ。
ピンポーン。バイト代弾んでくれるってさ。
ってさじゃなくて、なんでこれ。なぜに着ぐるみ。
僕は結構いいんだ。
黙ってろ。つかま。
Yeah, that's right. After the orogenies were finished, and the mountains stood tall in Virginia's Valley and Ridge province, everything was a mess. And 55 million years ago, the plates began to drift apart again. The results, the Eocene epoch and future hot springs.
So what is the Eocene epoch?
Yeah.
The Eocene epoch was the 55-million-year-old epoch in the Tertiary period. The start of the Eocene is marked by the beginning of the first mammals.
Yes, but there were volcanoes that went poof.
Volcanoes?
Poof?
Yeah, and whoosh, and blah 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 blah. The igneous rocks can be found all along the path they took, but don't be frightened, because these were most prominent on America's western coastlines. These are shown by basalt and gabbro intrusions that just happen to be exactly where the hot springs we are focusing on now are. Intriguing.
Yes, very intriguing. But I'm curious about the evidence. Is there more evidence?
Yes, but basalt and gabbro intrusions are no good. They are not enough to prove.
The epic produced our hot springs!
There's more evidence!
Let's hear it!
Could he possibly mean the numbers?
Isotopic dates?
Geologists did test the dates of some of the intrusions.
Huh, the date turned out to be 55 million years old. Same as the epic. Duh.
And so the stuffed animals and their hot spring companions randomly introduced their favorite frog found around the springs. You betcha!
Do you feel something?
It's warm.
Of course it is!
The Eocene epoch had warm temperatures. There are more sad and random facts.
Sad random facts?
About the flora and fauna. There was a tragic event that occurred 35 million years ago.
The Eocene epoch is marked as having the first modern mammals.
In fact, plants and marine faunas became quite modern. The earliest marine mammals appeared submerged in the prehistoric eastern coast.
Submerged? Richmond would have been swimming with the fish!
The Appalachian Mountains were bustling with even more life than they are today!
They were even covered in tropical forests.
Unfortunately, the sea level was unusually high, and when a bolide hit the Chesapeake Bay, it wiped out many species. Fortunately, this caused rifting that may have heated our hot springs. These springs are constantly filtering into these sulfurous streams through waterfalls. They would have been the first thing the founder of Jefferson Pools would have noticed when he pulled up in his horse-drawn carriage in 1761. Thomas Jefferson was believed to have designed the octagonal building that was constructed around the men's bathhouse when Jefferson Pools first opened. The original wooden pegs and poles still stand in the middle of each spring. He would have walked up these stairs, looked around, and seen the original wooden walkways and dressing rooms that still wrap around the spring today. Unlike many hot springs in the world, the water remains crystal blue because very little sunlight can pierce through the ceiling, thus preventing algae from photosynthesizing, making the pools very attractive. Originally, there was only one bathhouse in which women could rarely bathe. In response to the growing demand for separate bathing facilities, the women's bathhouse was built in 1836. Everyone came to the springs to seek what was called the cure by taking the waters. However, the miracle cure is not what baffles geologists about these sandstone-lined springs, in which a bathing suit is optional.
If you are ever fortunate enough to enter the waters of Jefferson Pools, you will find your body suspended in what feels like a warm breeze. The water comes into the pools at a perfect 98 degrees and equilibrates with the natural human body temperature of 98.6 degrees. People argue about how the pools are heated. Some think it is the minimal sunlight that shines into the center of the pool. This case, however, is very unlikely. But geologists know that the true source of heat comes from here, what lies below each spring. The real argument sits within these bubbles. The hottest part of the spring can be felt from standing within the vicinity of these bubbles. This means that the water actually bubbles up from the ground, already containing the heat. But how is the water heated in the aquifers below? One option is volcanic activity. Magma chambers that intruded during the late Eocene epoch may rest below the pockets of water being held by limestone. The second option may be the simple convection current that causes friction as the water molecules are moved by pre-existing heat. However, both answers may also stand true.
そうか。何？どういうこと？僕たちの服がなくなってチビちゃんたちの服が残ってた。そして泥棒の数は3人。そこから導き出される推理。もしかしたらチビちゃんたちは僕たちとは逆に大人になったんじゃないか。真実は一つ。とりあえず着替えようぜ。
Have you ever been driving your campus van for a geology trip just to find out that something goes horribly wrong? For instance, your van somehow manages to get stuck in the mud while you're off looking at an outcrop, but you've forgotten to bring along your stash of heavy lifting men? There is no need to cry like a little baby over this, or even blow up like a volcano, because we've got your answer! You've guessed it, the amazing shale. It's easy to use, just insert our shale underneath your tires and drive out of the mud. Just call this number and order yours today. When physics gets you in trouble, geology gets you out. This may vary by oxygen levels.
Little maggots, maggots whose parents fed me full. Grown and living, inhabiting comfortably my skull. Dust to dust, injustices is for us all and all's for. Whoa. May your organs fail before your dreams fail you. May your organs fail before your dreams fail you. May your organs fail before your dreams fail you.
金返してお金がザクザク降ってこい。ダメじゃん。
そんな都合良くないみたい。